Hi students, this is the third lesson ML3. In the last lesson we have studied the subset of real numbers as intervals. Now today let us continue. There are two more types I have to complete. The first one is power set. Power set. So this is the next type of sets we have to study. Consider a set A equal to 1, 2. Now, what are the subsets of this A? First one is pi, because we know that pi is the subset of every other set, and I made clear why pi is a subset. Next one is the singleton set 1, then the singleton set 2, and the set itself, that is 1 and 2. So these are the subsets. Totally there are 4 subsets for this A. Now if you write power set A is actually, what you have to do is take this as the elements. That means pi, then 1, then 2, then 1. If you write this one, this is called the power set of A. Here you have to remember one thing. Every element here itself is a set. Every element. For example, I have to write pi belongs to power set A. Similarly, 1 belongs to power set A. It is not 1, simply 1 belongs to power set A. It is set 1 belongs to power set A. So this is the difference. So this is the meaning of power set. Now let us define. So we can define the power set like this. Set of all subsets of a set A is called power set A, denoted by P of A. So this is the symbol, set of all subsets. So what is important here is subsets. Let me give one more example. Say A equal to X, Y and Z. So this set contains 3 elements. Now first let us list all the subsets. So subsets are, first one is pi, then the next one is X, then Y, then Z. So these are the 3 singleton sets. Then we can take XY, then YZ and XZ. These are the sets which contain 2 elements. So XY, then YZ and XZ. Then the last one is the set itself, that is XYZ. Now if you write this as the set, that is called the power set. Therefore P of A equal to, now we have to write all these elements inside a flower bracket. Therefore pi, then X, then Y, then Z, then XY, then YZ, then ZX or XZ, and the last one is XYZ. So this is power set of A. There is an interesting relation between the number of elements and the number of elements in the power set that we shall find. So let us take a few examples and then we shall find the relation. See, what I do is, see, for any given set A, if I write n of A, number of A, that means actually the number of elements contained by A. For example, if I write 1, this means number of A is 1. Suppose it contains 2, 1 and 2, then number of element is 2. So this is another symbol we use. Now let us take A equal to, first case is A equal to, I will take 1. Now the subsets of A are, so subsets are, one is pi, another one is 1. First is 1. Therefore now power set A must be equal to, now I have to write pi and 1. So this is the power set. Let me take 2, power A equal to 1 and 2. Then power set of, subset of this A is pi, then 1, then 2, then 1, 2. Therefore, power set of A will be equal to pi, then 1, then 2, singleton sets, these two, then 1, 2. So this is the power set. Let me take one more example so that we will be able to understand what is the relation. Let us take A equal to, say, 1, 2, 3. I will add one more element. So the subsets are pi, then 1, then 2, then 3. These are the three sets which are containing single element, singleton set. Then two elements, 1, 2, then 2, 3, and 1, 3. And the last one is 1, 2, 3. So if you write power set of this one, P of A, you will get pi, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 1, 2, then 2, 3, then 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So this is the power set. Now let me list number of elements. Here I will write number of elements of A and power set, number of elements of power set A. We shall list. When n equal, let me take this as n equal to 1, that means one element here. The power set contains here two elements. This set contains two elements. So number of power set, this is 2. Then when n equal to 2, that is when the number of elements of A is 2, the power set contains here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here it is 2, here it is 4. Same way, when n is 3, you can check here, number of elements of the power set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 3, this is 8. Now there is a relation. The relation is, when it is 1, you can write this as 2 power 1. When it is 2, this you can write actually 2 square, because 4 can be written as 2 square. Here 3, 8 can be written as 2 cube. So now the idea is very clever. When the n is 1, power set contains 2 to the power 1. When n is 2, power set contains 2 power 2. N is 3, power set contains 2 power 3. Definitely, if n equal to 4, power set should contain 2 power 4. That means 16 elements. Suppose n equal to 5, power set should contain 2 power 5, that is 32 elements. This is the relation between number of elements of a set and number of elements of a power set. So this is the thing. In general, if you take n, that is number of elements of A equal to n, power set contains 2 power n element. So this is the relation. Therefore, this you can take it as a property. The property is, if a set contains n elements, then the power set contains 2 to the power n elements. Therefore, we can generalize and write it as a rule. So if a set contains n elements, then the power set contains then the power set contains 2 to the power n elements. That is, you can remember, if n of a equal to n, number of elements of a equal to n, then n of power set of a, this equal to 2 to the power n. So this you remember as a result. Power set of a is 2 power n elements. So this is a thing. For example, a set number of a equal to 10. That means a set contains 10 elements. Then number of power set of a will be equal to 2 to the power 10. This is actually 1024. Therefore, if I give you a set containing 10 elements, say 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. up to 10, if you want to write the power set, it will contain 1024 elements, which means this board is not sufficient. So this is the thing. Now, sometimes questions will be like this. A set contains 5 elements. That means number of A is 5. This is given. What is the number of non-empty subsets of A? So find the number of non-empty subsets of A means we know that our total number of subsets will be 2 to the power 5. But non-empty means empty set should not be taken here, because empty set is also a subset. So I have to subtract 1. So it is 32 minus 1, that is 31. Like this, lot of questions can be asked related to number of elements and number of elements in the power set. So let us work out such questions in the session supplementary lesson. So let us proceed now. The last one is universal set. That is the last one under the types of sets. So that is denoted by U. So let me introduce universal set. So this is the last in our category. So before defining, actually defining is difficult. I can just explain what universal set is, because universal set is not unique actually. Let me give an example so that it makes the point very clear. Say you are studying till this year, that is it, you completed 10th standard, you are in a school. Say in your school there is a 10th standard. Set of all students belonging to 10th standard, you can take it as a set. Under this now, section A, suppose there is a section A and section B, section C and D. These are the 4 sections. Then the students belonging to this section is a subset of X. Similarly, B also subset of X, C also subset of X, D also subset of X. Therefore, I can say A is a subset of X, B is a subset of X, etc. Take your section A. Here once again, if you take A, I can make different subsets. For example, set of boys, let me call it as B is already given. Say, let me take, say, A1. A1 means set of boys in this section. Then I can also make another set, A2, that is set of girls. Then I can also make another set, for example, a set of students who are playing cricket. Like this, I can make any number of subsets from this one only. This is the universal set if you take A, B, C, D as the subset. So you can take it as universal set. Now if you take this, see, A itself you can take as universal set, provided A1, A2, A3, etc. you can make subsets. Now here once again you see, I made X universal set. But if you take all the students of your school, then X becomes the subset of S, which means universal set is not fixed. Any set you can take universal set, provided you can form some subsets under that set. So that is the concept of universal set. Therefore, I told you it is not fixed or it is not unique. It contains all the elements under a particular context. Therefore, I can roughly define this universal set like this: a set which contains all the elements all the elements under a particular context. So this is very important. Under a particular context, it contains all the elements, all the students of your section, then subsets of that, all the students of your school, then subset of that. It can be section wise, it can be boys and girls, or it can be any other set. So the thing is that if you take A equal to, say, 1 2 3 4, you form as many subsets as you want from this set. For example, I can take B. This is a 1 2 3. Then C, let us say 2 3, anything. So then I can take this as the universal set for these types of sets. And universal set is denoted by capital letter U. So this is the symbol for universal set. So this is all about universal set. So please remember, it is not unique. It based on your selection. Depending on the context, you can take one set as this universal set, and then you form the subsets. So this is universal. So this actually completes the types of sets. So let me sum up what we have done. We started with empty set, then singleton set, then subsets, then finite and infinite sets, equal sets. Then we have taken specially set of reals under which we have taken interval as subset of R. Then today, power set and then universal set. So these are the categories of sets which we study and which we come across actually whenever we study set theory. Next one is diagrammatic representation of set. Representation of set. That means a set can be represented using a diagram. So that is called diagrammatic representation. This is first given by a mathematician called John Venn, a British mathematician, John Venn. So this method is also known as Venn diagram. This is called Venn diagram. Let me explain once again with the example. Suppose you take U, universal set, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 elements. And let us say A equal to 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Say B equal to, say 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. I have taken only two sets, A and B. Then we can represent them. This is one method of representing. We can represent them using a diagram. There are certain conventions you have to remember. The universal set is always denoted by either a square or a rectangle like this. So this is the universal set. Here of course you can write U indicating that this is your universal set. Then the subsets A and B under this universal set, you should use either circle or oval shape like this. Then this is A, this is B. Here what you have to do is when you are writing here, see 2 and 3 are the common elements in A as well as B. So those common elements should come here. This is the common region. Therefore 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Then 1 is remaining in A. You can write anywhere here. See here place is not important, you can write anywhere, but it should be within this circle or this oval shape. And then here 2 3 4 is there, therefore that you have to write here. Now 5 is also there in U, but that is not contained in A or B, it should be written outside anywhere here. So this is Venn diagram. Venn diagram, it is very simple, but it is very useful for solving the problems, therefore we should know how to represent it. Remember only this much: either square or rectangle, then circle or oval shape, then appropriately you have to write the numbers inside the boundary. A for this is the boundary, B this is the boundary. If it is common, you have to write like this. Suppose instead of this one, if I take say 4 and 5 here, 1 2 3 4 5, then what you have to do is you have to represent A like this and B like this. Even if you write like this, it's okay, but you should not write any element there. So U, then here you say A and B, then 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the way we have to represent the sets. So this is all about the basics of sets. That is, we started with definition of the set, then we studied how to write the set using certain symbols. Then we studied also two types of representation of set, that is roster method and set builder method. Then we completed types of sets starting from empty set. So this is actually the basic knowledge required for sets. Then what you have to do is, next we have to play the game. Actually the game is this: you take different types of sets, say A B C etc., any number of sets. We can perform operation on these sets. So you have seen, in case of numbers, say n, we can perform addition, we can perform multiplication, we can perform these two. Actually we cannot perform division and subtraction, you have seen, because when a number is subtracted from another number, sometimes you get negative number, that is not there in n. But if you take Q for example, you can perform addition, you can perform subtraction also, then you can perform product, then division also. Like this, given a set of numbers, different types of operations we can do. Similarly, in case of sets, there are different types of operations. Those operations we are studying in the next class. Then we also study the properties of those operations. They are very interesting. Please revise these things, that is whatever basics I have introduced, so that in the next lesson, that is ML4, we are studying the set operations. So I hope you have subscribed to my channel. If not, please subscribe and share this with your friends. So thank you.